court, have their hands outside. Is that like a distinct thing to try to slow things down or increase their rest time?
Yep, as coach, obviously they know they're subbing, so that's an indication that we're subbing, so they don't have to speed up. And then if they're not subbing, we have an indicator to get them off and on the field. So.
Oh, for if the other team is subbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's a signal saying that you can take your time.
Yeah.
Okay. The last two games, probably the quickest, the easiest the opponent has scored is when they played fast. There was that 2-minute drill by Oregon State and then end of the first half against UCLA. If a team doesn't sub and plays fast, how do you manage to get those guys on the field?
Well, it all depends on where the ball, depending if the ball's on our sideline. If the ball's on the sideline, they train, Coach Ofusi's trained the sub guys, because it takes longer to spot the ball when the ball goes to the sideline. So our guys know exactly how, and we coach it. So that's the only way, that's the way we try to sub guys.
Justin and then Michael. Brennan, how do you reflect on the process recruiting the 2022 recruiting class and what it was like being able to get all those guys to sign?
Yeah, it was really one of our top priorities when we first got here is getting that first class that we got a chance to recruit on our own. We put a lot of work into it, a lot of time into it, had to build those relationships. It wasn't easy. It took all the way till signing day and all that. But it was obviously it's been worth it. And getting to meet those kids and building this program through recruiting, that's kind of the way you have to do it. We lucked out, got some great kids. We targeted the right guys, I felt like those guys are going to be leaders in this program for years to come. So it was challenging, but it was a blast.
And then Johnny, what can you say just about how the relationship is between those guys and also the transfer portal players and the veterans on the defensive side of the ball?
Most of these kids, they know each other from the past. So, some of the guys that were recruited in that class, one of the things was recruiting high character guys. And then we went to the portal and looked for the same trade to bring those guys in, and they come from winning programs and also are great people. When you have great high character guys in the room, man, it makes your job a lot easier.
Michael and then David.
One question for each. We'll start with Brennan. The third down conversions have been really good. The last several games, what are you seeing in that regard? Why do you think you're having success?
Yeah, we've made a huge emphasis on it. Of course, Coach Jimmy Doherty's done a fantastic job. It's kind of his focal point during the week. And the guys have just taken to the details and being on their assignments and understanding the exact down and distance of the situation, knowing where the sticks are. We've had a couple of wrinkles in there. We've been able to mix it up on third down, not just have to throw it every time. So it's been invaluable in this process in this last couple of weeks. Getting those conversions in the first half, we were like 7 or 8 or something ridiculous. I looked at the stats and was blown away by it. But it's our guys have worked on it. We spend basically Wednesday working on third down. So I'm glad it started to show a little bit.
And then for Johnny, red zone defense, especially the last 2 weeks, has been very sharp and critical to the outcome of the game. What are you seeing? What's the key to getting that done?
I think that was the main focus. During fall camp, we started. The first day of practice is red zone, and ever since then, red zone has been part of we practice it every single day. If you're gonna be good at something, you gotta practice, and I think that we took that approach. When it comes to the red zone, we take pride in it.
David and then Justin.
Two questions for Johnny to follow on Michael's question there. The red zone play, we've seen Jacob blitz a lot up the middle, but you brought him off the edge on that one play in the third quarter. What did you see there? Why was that the time maybe to shift him over that outside?
They were doing a lot of slide protection, take away internal pressures. So that's what we went with, bringing Manu off the edge there, because we knew they were going to slide and put the back on Manu. So that was the plan.
And then in terms of Trayton and just his ability as a tackler and what we've seen, especially not just in the run game, but on some of those cross routes, when did you identify that he could be a guy that you move him off the normal corner position and kind of put him back in the more middle of the field where he can make plays?
I think it was right after last season. We made our mind if we're going to go to what we do on defense, we had to move somebody that is physical enough from the corner position to our nickel. And he fits the mold we're looking for. and it's been the best thing that ever happened to us because he's allowing us to be more flexible as far as our calls. Because not only he could play the run, but man, I don't think too many people are trying to challenge him in the vertical game. So, and he's got a high football IQ. It's a blessing to have him on the field.
Justin and then Brian.
A question for both. Just what have you seen out of Colorado on film?
They got a talented team. They got speed on the outside. You know, the quarterback makes things happen. We got to make sure we're assignment sound and, make sure we communicate on the back end. It's a tough place to go play. So, this will be a big game for us on the road, and our guys are looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, obviously the thing that jumps out the film is the talent they have at cornerback. The young kid they got hired is fantastic. But the job they've done rebuilding that team in such a short time, and the advances they've made on defense, with the front seven and the secondary is, it shows up.
Brian and then David.
Brennan, how do you feel Raymond played getting back out there, and where do you see his role from here on out?
Yeah, I would say Raymond's probably going to get a little more playing time this week. And his role that he had this past week, I thought he did a solid job, kind of building on where he left off, before the injuries. We'll just keep building, keep growing those young guys. Love to get the young guys on the field, get that game experience, and just keep developing. He's obviously very talented, but now we'll just really focus on the production, get what we need from him down after down.
And I think Leith had only been at right guard before this game, and he had to do some when Wendell was out. How do you feel he fared?
Yeah, he had a couple oopsies at the left spot, but it's difficult from going right the whole time. All camp he's been really fighting for that right guard spot, and then I had to flip over right in the middle of the game because we had the most trust in him. And sometimes not having that technique, from flipping to the right to the left can show up. And did one or two times, but got us out of the game there, and help us on this win streak that we've had, and he's been fantastic for us.
Is that the official term, oopsie?
Oopsies. Yeah, and there's a couple rough spots there, but we battled. That's all we can ever ask.
David and then Jason.
One for Brennan and then one for each of you together. Brennan, where can Josh at times has missed on some blocks? Where can he be better in that center position and making sure that he's not letting guys through the middle?
Yeah, really, he's been so solid for us all year, and a couple times it's going to show up on film. When you get those bigger nose guys, the nose tackle for UCLA was fantastic. That front seven really stood out. In comparison to teams we played all year, and there's been the Pac-12 loaded on the front seven, especially the rushers. You got talented guys on the other team too. Those guys are on scholarship. Sometimes they'll get you, one or two times. But Josh has been really consistent throughout. It's always going back to the fundamentals: pad level, first step, getting your hands inside, and driving your opponent. So they're going to win some too, but we just got to minimize the mistakes and keep working those fundamentals.
And is there a guy on this team that could play both ways, whether it's offense or defense, like Travis Hunter does?
You're talking about besides Coach Nansen? We pull back right now. Switch the offense up a little bit.
No, nobody, Johnny?
I think Irby.
Irby?
Irby could play running back. Yeah, that's what he was in high school when he got recruited. I think he's the one guy in my mind.
Yeah, you don't get to have him, but I bet you, we throw a big Joan over there and big block as a road grader, that's flipped over to the defense side of the ball to give us a little push in the middle, but he probably zero nose. Needed him at the bench.
Jason and then Aiden.
For Johnny, what has Taylor Upshaw meant to this defense, and what was the process like getting him over here?
There was a relationship with a couple of our guys, Aaron and Teddy from Michigan. They knew him, they were recruiting him. So when he was looking for a home, he was, gave us a call, and we watched his tape. We knew how good of a player he was, and we were looking for a defensive end at that time. And we brought him on the visit. It was a great relationship, perfect fit, and he committed on the spot. And I'm glad we have him because he's really helping changing not only our defense, but the group. He's bringing great leadership to the group, especially because we're young there with Isaiah Ward and, you know, and Deuce Davis and those guys. It's been great to have them.
And then for both of you, when we see plays that we necessarily or formations haven't seen before, is this something that you put in on like a Sunday night, or is it something that you practiced previously and you kind of bring it back out, or how does that process work?
Yeah, they can kind of show up in a variety of different ways. A lot of times we'll work on things for a couple weeks and it just isn't the right situation in the game to throw out there. So there's a couple things we've done like that, and sometimes they are, you know, Friday for the Saturday game we'll talk about something. If our guys can handle it and they'll execute it well, we'll throw it in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, go ahead, Coach.
like for example for us, I mean, we have never seen 21 personnel out at UCLA. So when they came out in that first series, it was trying to slow down, trying to find calls, and then adjust on the sideline. You know, the offensive guys got the advantage, right? And then we have to adjust, and I thought our kids handled it pretty well. You know, so it was good. It was good by our guys.
Last question to Aiden.
Johnny, you mentioned Martell. Seems like he's been more versatile as of late. How do you think he's improved as an all-around player on the defensive side of the ball?
He plays with passion, man. He plays with amazing energy, and he's smart. He's a tough kid. You know, if you look at our two linebackers right now, we're probably the shortest in America, but the size of their heart, man, I'll take that any day, man. And they play fast, and they care about each other on the team, and you know, everybody's getting along, and I think Irby's bringing that to the team.
All right, that's our time.
Thanks, guys.